Hello, everybody. Welcome to Astrology Rising II, Unity in Diversity webinar. We've got myself, I got a whole group of astrologers here. We're each going to be talking to you a little bit, today about, what we're doing and what this is all about. We're just hanging on here, waiting for a few more people, to come on, because we know that it's only 1 minute after the hour, and very often, people are still coming in. So hang in there. I just thought I would show you the website while we were waiting for folks. This is that's the ticket page, actually. Let's go to the home page. Okay. Oh goodness, that's the home page, huh? Ta-da! Yeah. All right. Well, I see we have a good number of participants. I'm going to start my freaking video. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And going to put myself in. All right. Now, yeah, you got a chat in the chat box there. See, can you guys see me? I see Sol and Etta. Hello, Etta. Welcome, everyone. Daniela. Okay, we got the chat box happening. And hello. Man, oh, man. The eclipse is coming. I mean, I'm feeling this eclipse already. And it is emotionally stirring, so much so that I don't always even remember what I was going to say. Actually, what we are doing is we did Astrology Rising 1 in May of 2017 when the moon's nodes moved from Virgo into Leo. And now, 2 years later, we are going to do Astrology Rising 2 to celebrate the moon's nodes. The north node of the moon is moving from Cancer into Gemini. Like on the day that we are beginning our Astrology Rising 2, May 5th of 2020. Not only that, but we're also celebrating that Saturn will be at 0 degrees of Aquarius at that particular time. And we can celebrate having made it through Saturn and Capricorn, which we are in now, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else. It's just like, these are very powerful times of change and transition. It is enough to make anybody a little nervous, a little insecure about the economic factors, about the political factors, about the social factors. Everything is changing radically. We are entering this age of Aquarius at laser beam speed. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about at Astrology Rising 2 is the effect of technology. Aquarius is technology. The effect of technology on our psyches and on our souls and on our evolution. And as we are feeling so much now, the north node of the moon in Cancer is calling for emotional connection. And yes, I've got, an online community, the New Paradigm Astrology online community. Jules has, the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. Maurice is, the OPA, Organization for Professional Astrologers. There's so much going online, and we can connect with each other in so many ways via technology. But the technology does not have the emotional connection. It is so important, and this is why we are having this gathering of like-minded souls in Costa Rica, so that we can all stand on the beach and watch the sunset with drumming. And we can all, be together and do ceremony and do yoga and do sacred chanting and kirtan together. So yes, this is an astrology convention where you will be receiving a lot of astrological teachings, wisdom, and understanding. But I cannot stress enough the importance of physical, presence, okay, and helping us, and just like, I don't know, it's maybe I'm just a touchy-feely kind of guy, but it's just like, you know what, oh, you're real. You're not just a Facebook profile picture. You're an actual person. I mean, there's just something human about coming together. And so that's what this thing is about. I am going to also be doing Dance Your Stars, because I want to take this intellectual astrological teachings and wisdom, okay, and I want to bring it down into music and into movement and into dancing so that we can really feel our charts. This is like so powerfully important in my mind today, is to really take things out of the head and into the heart and into the soul. So we just really, boom, we're going to be doing a lot of different activities. So I'm going to be doing Dancing Your Star. I'm going to be giving that talk. What else are we doing? We're doing sailing on the last day. Last time we all had so much fun, but it was not everybody. There were only 2 boats, so we could only get 40 people. But this time we have chartered enough sailboats to have all 200 people go sailing together on the last day and go snorkeling together. So we're not only going to sing and dance and drum, we're going to swim together. Yeah, baby. Oh my God. This is going to be like so super freaking cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the torch to each one of the astrologers here today. They're going to tell you a little bit about, why they're, what they're excited about, what they're going to be presenting, what's going on for them. And then at the end, I'm going to come back and I'm going to go through, each one of the astrologers is also giving you something today. If you sign up, everybody is giving you, we're all giving you free presents. We're doing a big giveaway. So at the end of this, you're going to see that, by signing up today, you're going to see, you save like $655. You get 200 off your ticket and you get $455 worth of astrology webinars and teachings and memberships. And oh my God, wow. So let me put on Maurice, Fernandez here. He's coming on. And Maurice, I pass the baton to you.
Baton accepted. Thank you so much, and looking forward to this amazing event. I like the fact that Astrology Rising brings a holistic approach to the study. It's not only intellectual, as Kaypacha was saying, but it's an experience, a community experience. And that's what I always strive to do in my own teaching. So being in an exotic place and connecting with like-minded. As astrologers, we're often isolated. People don't understand why we're doing this, and we can't speak the language with other people. And so you're going to be now in astrology paradise, and not only be inspired, but also, speak astrology. You're on your, it's your territory, so to speak. And I use this opportunity to present yoga. I've been teaching yoga for a couple of decades. My approach is also based on Kundalini yoga, combining different spiritual practices into this to connect with higher souls, because to me the yoga was instrumental in developing my astrology knowledge. It is through yoga that I that I really managed to tap into these deeper reservoirs of knowledge. So I always encourage people to not only come and sit, but to integrate spirit into the body and vice versa. So yoga in the mornings, along with my fellow colleagues, and then I'm going to speak about the ascendant, which, we all know about the rising sign and what the ascendant is on the chart, but I'm going to bring a different spin on it to understand how the ascendant is actually a continuation of the 12th house. So it's that bridge. When you look at the ascendant, it goes both directions. It goes into the first and then into the 12th, because we can go clockwise and counterclockwise. So that's going to be exciting, and I'm sure it's going to give you a lot of insights into your own evolutionary journey, understanding your ascendant. Then I will also be presenting about the 3 zodiacs. Some of you may or may not know that there are different ways to actually look at the sky and map astrology. There's what we call the tropical zodiac, which most people use in our Western culture, and that is the zodiac that starts at 0 Aries on the 21st of March. But then this zodiac is not completely aligned with the astronomy, because if you look at the stars, the constellations are not 30 degrees equal. Virgo is a huge constellation that about 40 plus degrees, whereas Cancer is a much smaller constellation. So the sky is not neatly organized as we do it on our papers. And we need to understand these differences. Why is there a difference at all between the astronomy and the astrology? And we're going to touch on the Vedic, the sidereal zodiac, which has a different starting point, but also divides the signs into 30 degrees equal, but has a different starting point. So I think it's really critical for all students of astrology to be aware of this, because that's where all the scientists come to discredit astrology. They say, well, the sun today is in Cancer, but if you look at the sky, it's actually in Gemini. So what you're doing is irrelevant. But we astrologers have an answer to that. It's not that we're ignorant and that we have no idea that there's a discrepancy between the tropical and the constellational. But all astrologers should be aware of this, so you know how astrology will work. So that's a very, very important topic. And then the last one will be about the force of love in the chart. We all speak about love, but there are different aspects of love. There's the spiritual, which is the unconditional. Many people in spiritual practices strive to open their heart, and we talk about unity and diversity, but we also talk about really something that is timeless, love that prevails beyond culture, beyond location, beyond our historical era, something that really stays. It's our constant. It's the constant that stays throughout time and space. But at the same time, we also speak about love in a personal way, loving our children and loving our partners and finding love. And that's a different type of expression. And so we're going to explore that from both a philosophical point of view, but obviously from an astrological point of view, and see how the chart reveals those different aspects of the force of love in our lives. And so I'm very excited, as I said. I'm looking forward to spending time by the water and connecting with everybody. And my giveaway for those of you who feel called and really are ready to jump forward, I'm going to share my screen just to give you a quick view of how to get to that. So you get $100 credit for those who sign up um, in the next 24 hours. You go to astrology studies and then you go by topic, and it takes you to a whole list of workshops and that are available, and you can see the prices listed. So you're going to have $100 credit on the workshops, and you can choose the one you want. So that's exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in Costa Rica. Thank you. And passing the baton to Kristina.
All right. Thank you, Maurice. Hi, everyone. It's Kristina Caudill, and I'm super excited that you'll be joining us, or those of you that are here to be convinced. We're here to convince you that Costa Rica, if you haven't been, is an absolutely magical, beautiful place. Not only beautiful, but absolutely magical. And as you know, if you've probably seen the pictures online, that we were there in 2017 and we were going back. As Kaypacha said, the last time we were there, we were celebrating the North Node in Leo, and it was a huge party. We'll definitely be partying again this time, but as he said, the North Node will be just entering Gemini. And that means the South Node will be in Sagittarius. And so I will be talking about, that'll be one of my lectures, the nodal transit, right? When the transiting nodes are affecting the collective, then these are some collective lessons for us all. As we know now, the North Node is in Cancer, right? And the South Node in Capricorn. So we're seeing that dynamic of the shadow of Capricorn, of control and authority, the patriarchy, and trying to find the medicine in Cancer, which is the feminine, the care, the integrating the feminine and the masculine in ways that help to nurture our lives in society, and also seeing the ways which we've been neglecting that, right? So by the time we make it to Costa Rica, we'll have just finished that lesson of that collective lesson. Not that there won't still be them, but the emphasis will be on Gemini, which I like to think of as going back to beginner's mind, especially when we have the South Node in Sagittarius. You know, Sagittarius is wisdom. It's the higher mind. It's the guru. But when the North Node is in Gemini, then that says to me there's still more to learn. No matter what level of astrology, for instance, that you think you've mastered, there may be more for us all to learn from one another, right? The teacher and the guru may be switching roles. And it's really the ultimate wisdom is to come from a place of beginner's mind and to always open the mind to new information that can lead to wisdom. So I'll be sharing about that. We'll be doing some exercises around the transiting nodes. I'll also be doing an exercise with art in astrology. We will be painting and drawing our natal charts as mandalas. And if you look at your natal chart, you can see it as the sacred mandala of the soul. And it's actually a Jungian concept about how perfectly aligned that mandalas are, and they actually speak to this perfection in the soul, this sort of geometric perfection, sacred geometry that is actually part of our own destiny. You know, and how many of us look at our natal charts and we think, you know, I got screwed, or, you know, or something, you know, with all this Scorpio or all this Gemini or whatever it is. And we think we have difficult charts. I almost always hear that. Not always, but I hear it a lot, enough to where, you know, at the beginning of a reading, someone will say, well, I'm sorry about my chart, you know, and I think it's on some level, we all might think that. But in fact, and this is an ancient theory, that the soul waited for the perfect moment to be incarnated, the perfect moment where this literally the stars and the planets were aligned. And if we can come to peace with that and really see that as the truth of our destiny, then that can help us to open up more into the potential of our cosmic imprint, right, with our natal chart. And so we'll be creating art with it, and just really sparking joy with our natal chart. I will also be taking full advantage of the Scorpio full moon. There will be a Scorpio full moon on our third night there. My favorite moon of the year, always, Scorpio moon. But it is such an incredibly transformative experience, the Scorpio full moon, every year, you know, around the May timeframe. And that is, they say, you know, that's a Wesak moon. Not sure how you pronounce it. But that is the moon under which the Buddha became enlightened, right? And a Scorpio moon can really, you know, bring out the shadow. That is the ultimate shadow full moon. And so last time we were in Costa Rica, I hosted the Rite of the Womb, right? And I say I hosted it, but we had a team of volunteers, all women, that came together and did a ritual. It was absolutely beautiful. Those of you who were there, it was just like this orchestrated dance that we were all equally a part of. And actually, since then, I know at least 3 of the women got pregnant really shortly after that and had babies. So we made some babies. And this time, this year is going to be a little different. We are going to be the babies, right? We're going to be doing a rebirthing ceremony where we are going to rebirth ourselves. And actually, you know, it's often said that the very first trauma is that birth experience. And that's something that is unconscious within us. But if we can recreate that story, shift the narrative so it is a sacred experience of us coming into our full soul's expression for the first time, taking that first breath and celebrating it, then that can really help to heal ourselves at the very root, the very core of our being. And so it's my intention that we become the babies once again in the womb. We support one another, we celebrate one another, and we do it all on the Scorpio full moon. So I'm super excited about that. And I would love some volunteers. So those of you who are signing up, let me know if you want to to participate in that as a volunteer to help be the midwives of the soul, because we have a very beautiful experience planned. And I also want to take just another minute to encourage those of you who are curious about joining our eclipse circle. We have the Enlightened Eclipse Journey, which starts on Tuesday. It's actually open now. And the last day to sign up is tomorrow, Monday. And I begged Kaypacha for 2 minutes to share about the Enlightened Eclipse Journey. Because tomorrow's the last day to sign up, and it is 4 weeks of an online experience, a weekly gathering online hosted by myself and Ari Moshe Wolf and Sewell Jonathan and Tim Holleran. And we will be going deeply into the archetype of Cancer Capricorn and the healing that's possible and the healing that's needed by us journeying through this consciously. Right? Because I think we are all feeling this massive solar eclipse. It's a total solar eclipse in Cancer, exact on Tuesday, which is actually the exact moment that we'll be doing the first opening ceremony. We'll be right in the solar eclipse. And so if you want to join us with that, we're going to be gathering every week. We're going to be teaching and sharing, and it's going to be just a month-long journey of self-awareness through consciousness insight teachings, evolutionary astrology, and community. I wanted to really quickly, if I could, share the promo video you don't mind. Whoops.
La da dee da dee da di, 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 la da dee da dee da di. La da dee da dee da di, la da dee da dee da di.
La da dee da da dee di. That is going to be our theme song for the month, our sacred chant that was created by Ari Moshe Wolf. As you can probably hear and feel, it is a song from the heart that we would love to share with you all. And yes, it sounds very Celtic too, I think so. And thank you, Dahlia. Yeah, that is a very beautiful song. So if you are excited, as I am, for this eclipse season, please join us. I'll have the link in the comments. And I look forward to welcoming you into the community, as well as you coming to Costa Rica so we can meet in person. There's nothing like sharing community face-to-face in the flesh in Costa Rica. So I hope you will join us for this beautiful experience. And with that, I'll pass it over to Sul. Sul, are you ready for me? Are you ready to share your beauty with us? Give her a minute. Sul.
Kusho, hey, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Good. Hi, everyone. I'm here in Norway, and I'm reflecting a little bit about life in general, what this North Node in Cancer has brought into my life. And it's definitely been more hugs. It's been more connection, deeper relations, something that I really missed in my life. Being quite the nerdy person that I am, I think creating warm communities is what we're supposed to do with our lives together. And our experience in Costa Rica last time was exactly that. It was so nice to have that group experience, because I know, we are all very sensitive human beings. Once we grow in consciousness, we also grow in sensitivity. And that's not always an easy thing. With consciousness also comes this often very challenging self-awareness. And with self-awareness, a whole wormhole of complex relationship dynamics opens up. We become self-conscious both of our shadow material and of other people and how we relate to them. So I think working in groups and working, together with people is a very interesting social experience, because we grow in our expression, in our self-expression, and we dare more. We dare more becoming authentic beings and showing up as we are together. And we learn from each other a great deal without even knowing it. It's simply through the being together, through osmosis. And for this particular Costa Rica program, I wanted to keep it, somehow coherent. I want to follow my passion with these lectures. And I'm going to offer a tantric yoga experience that has to do a lot with balancing out the masculine and the feminine energies, so that we can be what we feel deeply inside of ourselves to be. Today we have a lot of confusion about being man and being woman on this planet. And I think we all long for being just exactly how we feel on the inner levels. So that is something that I burn really strongly for. And the other 3 lectures I'm going to give is also in the same kind of field. The one is Chiron in Aries. We all know now that Chiron is in Aries, and it is healing that sacred masculine. I've worked a lot with men the last couple of years, and I find it extremely interesting, because I think I have learned a lot. I realized that I really don't understand the masculine the way that I've been taught, about men and male energy. And healing that particular relationship with the masculine has been extremely valuable for me. And of course, Chiron in Aries, Aries being this Mars sign, it's healing that part of us and expressing it with deeper courage and coming through. Also from the very pure masculine form, I think is very important for global peace, to be quite honest. There's also something that comes back in my lecture about Neptune in Pisces, because Pisces is a very feminine energy, and it's us surrendering into the arms of life, letting go of our control and letting go of our need to know everything. Neptune will be in Pisces still for some years to come. And we all know it's been quite challenging, but there is a deep urge in Neptune in Pisces to connect with the spiritual self. And that is real. Learning to trust maybe life, maybe God. I don't know what you want to call it, but just trusting life again. Because I really don't think that there's any other way to peace, to deep inner peace. We cannot know what happens tomorrow. And we are not quite sure where we are. My father said earlier today, I'm with my parents here in the south of Norway. And he said, well, there was a guy once who said, you're actually on a planet that is sailing through space, and we're sailing around a sun that's also sailing through space. And eventually we don't know where that is.
Hey, Sul, we lost your sound.
Oh, you did?
Oh, there. Okay, there you go. Just for a minute.
Am I on? Just for a minute. Okay,
yeah,
so
you're on. You're good.
Well, isn't that typical? Sorry about that. I'm back with my sound again, evidently. Thank you for letting me know, Kristina.
It was right when you said we were sailing through space and we don't know where that is.
Yeah, okay. Well, I got lost in space. That never happened before. Okay. So, all right. So this, just to finish off that thing with Neptune in Pisces, it's that we live in a place we really don't know what it is. We know we're here. We know we got 1 day, 1 minute, 1 moment. We have one breath. And learning to trust that again with everything that goes on is such a challenging exercise for us, learning to surrender into life again. So, I really truly believe that the only thing we miss when we are not functioning well, it's the connection to the spiritual realm of ourselves. We need to have that kind of flow with life and learning to live courageously, even if we don't get a guarantee. And I think essentially that's what Neptune in Pisces is, what it's all about. And without becoming, unrealistic or naive or full of illusion, we still need to surrender. And that goes for the last lecture I'm going to give as well, which is kind of like the heart of my existence for the time being, because I've been studying it so much lately, and it's the art of composites. If you don't know what a composite chart is, it's 1 and 1 becomes, and you superimpose 2 charts and you find the midpoints between them and you get a composite chart. And that is the energy of any relationship. It could be a work relationship, it could be the relationship to your parents, to your children, or to your spouse or your lover. And each individual relationship carries its own energy and its own karma. And we learn a lot from synastries, like when we compare 2 charts to each other to check where the points are. And of course, you have to bring in the synastries in order to get a full composite, a full picture of everything, what's going on between 2 people. But the composite chart and the transits to the composite charts shows important events and important developments in any kind of relationship. And I think also, we learn so much from relationships. We learn what Maurice mentioned, the art of love. Love is not a word, it's a verb. You know, it's an act, it's something we decide to do. And I think learning a lot about why we get together and driving the consciousness up to a higher level can create relationship that actually become successful for us. Knowing from my experience in the field of therapy, I know we all struggle a lot with past experiences with relationships, and relationships aren't easy. But through understanding the composite charts, you get a key, you get an insight, you get an understanding. And especially when we get together in such large groups as Costa Rica, that understanding might turn into some really interesting insights, both into yourself and to others, and to why you guys get together. I know from the last time Costa Rica happened, a lot of people really connected and friendships were made that lasts for a life. And that is it's beyond any kind of value you can put to your life, because that's what we all need, a life that is rich with people that we love and people that bring something good into our lives. So yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to come to Costa Rica. I'm going to bring my family. We're going to have a nice time. We're going to hug some trees, because there's so many lovely trees in Costa Rica. It's just amazing. I still dream about those trees. And we're going to have lots of swims in the ocean and look at the beautiful sunsets and hug a lot. Yeah, I'm all in for hugging. All right, so I'm going to pass the baton next to Ari. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
All right. Hello, everyone.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to take off my thing.
Good to be with you. So at this Astrology Rising, the main talk that I'll be giving is titled, So You Want to Be Human, Sexuality and Intimacy in the New Paradigm. This talk is actually going to be focused predominantly on the moon and Saturn in your natal chart, and also Saturn in transit. The reason why I'm giving this talk and focusing on Saturn, for example, as opposed to Venus, is because Saturn represents the overarching cultural paradigm within which we are all living, within which we have all been conditioned by. So all of us have been conditioned by a foundation of cultural and social assumptions, constructs, ideas, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. What are your choices for how to do relationship? What are your choices for your own way of being in relationship to sexuality? So at this time in the collective, we're obviously healing and growing and expanding our context and framework for what's allowed, what's possible. The baby boomers was the largest generation of people in modern history. That's the Pluto in Leo generation. And there's something like a 50% divorce rate. So clearly, as a society, we haven't actually figured out how to do this whole relationship thing. And I would say that to a significant degree, we are conditioned by deeply inherited and ingrained, generation-old beliefs and ideas that repress and suppress our true human nature. We're still figuring out, what does it look like to be a human being? What does it look like to function here together? We treat each other, we treat the earth, we treat our bodies still in a way that is not of the greatest respect and care. We are still learning. We're very young in our own collective evolution as a species. We'll be looking deeply into the archetype of Saturn, specifically as it relates to social conditioning. And we'll be focusing on how we live as human beings. And sexuality and intimacy is such an important topic, because those areas are what really have the most charge and wound and shame and hurt for almost all human beings. So to really speak about it and look at what's really emerging, what's healing right now, and actually address it. So I really look forward to sharing this dialogue. It's so present for me, and it's on my mind, and it's actually really relevant for this eclipse season in the Cancer Capricorn axis. So for those that are drawn to the eclipse course, we're going to be actually looking at a lot of these things as well. I'm also going to be giving a talk on singing your natal chart. The cosmos are a dance. Life is harmony. Life is beauty. Life is resonance. So your own chart, which is reflected and embodied in you as you each moment to moment, is a particular vibrational resonance. And each moment has its own resonance. So this will be a playful and creative adventure where we'll take signatures in natal charts from volunteers from the audience, and we'll write poetry. We'll channel music together. And as we do that, I'll be giving teachings and explaining the archetypes and just kind of using the spontaneous interaction to teach and bring some more knowledge of the natal chart to all of us. Lastly, I'll be offering a talk on the progressed lunar cycle. We all have a lunar cycle that takes about 30 days every month. And whether or not you feel it, it's easy to observe overtly the cycles of the moon. So your own progressed lunar cycle is a 30-year cycle. Tracking that, knowing where your progressed sun is, where your progressed moon is, and really being able to follow these cycles in your life is profoundly helpful for understanding the cycles of flow and evolution on your own journey. Really aids in a lot of self-awareness. So I'll teach how to understand these progressions, how to track that in your own chart. I'll teach Qigong, and hopefully we'll do that by the ocean, which is so great to receive the elements of the sky and the ocean together. And I'll be singing and just really enjoying the space. So hope you will join us, and I look forward to sharing this all with you. And let me look at my list. I am passing this on to Yulia.
Hey there, everyone. Thanks, Ari. Thanks, everyone who has convincing you, I hope, out there to come along to Costa Rica. Look what it looks like. That is the beach behind me there. That the brown building in the middle, if I can point to it, is the hotel. It's gorgeous, and it makes me think, looking at this background, is I'm glad I'm going back, because there was so much going on around the hub of the hotel, the beach in front, that I didn't see enough of out there as well. So this next time, the opportunity to have a look a bit further is good too. So, and also last time we had a good contingent of Aussies, which I was very proud of. I think there was about 20 of us, so let's make that happen again, guys. And as you can see, what a great faculty of astrologers. Rick, Kaypacha, Sol, Ari, Tim, Maurice, wow, I can't wait to be with you guys again to start with. And then one of the things that I remember so much about Costa Rica Rising I was the friendships that were made, and how many of them have continued, and you still in the US, in different places of the groups that met, meeting up again and doing things. So that's a real treasure, I think, in this world of astrology, to actually be in retreat mode, where you can do the yoga and the meditation and take in.
You're muted. Can't hear you.
Yeah, Jules, you're coming on and off and on and off.
Might be some internet glitches.
Should I continue?
Yeah, now we can hear you, darling.
Now, yeah.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I've got Mercury in Pisces too, Sol.
Oh my God, it's so us,
It happens. Heck? What is going on?
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay.
Can you see me?
There you go.
Okay, so I went off and on completely. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. My computer doesn't, or my internet doesn't do this hardly ever. So anyway, let's continue. I don't even know where I left off, but yeah, the friendships that are made during this incredible week. I think it was 10 days last time, and I'm so glad for that extra time. It's not just a weekend or a long weekend. We've got a lot more time to be together, and there's astrology in the pool. I remember doing classes in the pool because it was quite hot and humid. We're in and out of the water all the time. And on the eve of the eclipse, of a Cancer eclipse, it kind of calls you to your soul tribe, the astrological soul tribe. It's kind of, you know, it's pretty cool. So I'm really looking forward to being there again. And the things that I'm going to be presenting are, first of all, one of the things will be about working with the night sky. So understanding what the night sky will be doing while we're there. As Kristina mentioned, there will be a full moon in Scorpio. So there'll be a full moon ceremony after one of the events one evening. And before that, I'm going to be taking you through what to look out for while you're there for the week in the night sky. Mars and Saturn will be rising after midnight, so it will only be for those that stay up late, which we might have to do one night. Venus will be setting as an evening star early in the evening, so we have to watch her at sunset. And the skies are really volatile there, which actually is one of the things I really, really loved is the thunder and lightning. I've never experienced lightning, you know, so profound. And if we think about Uranus being the ruler of astrology, or the modern ruler of astrology, we're in the right place to get, you know, the downloads of the Uranian energy. One of the other things I'll be speaking about Aquarian or Uranian energy is Saturn will be at 0 Aquarius, which is so profound of starting a new kind of regime for the work that we do as astrologers. And then later in the year, a huge big cycle of Jupiter and Saturn begins again in the element of air. And I'm going to take us through the understanding of that and what it means for us as astrologers and the work that we do with astrology in our lives and in the collective. So that's going to be called Agents of Aquarius, which I think we all are. Another thing I'll be presenting is astrolocality. We're going to be singing our charts, we're going to be dancing our charts, and I'm going to be astro mapping your charts onto the map of the world. A really fascinating thing to know more about with Uranus in Taurus as well. So we will be working on how to utilize astro mapping, and then noticing the age group that there was last time. You know, well, there was actually all kinds of age groups. That's the whole thing, from the 20s to the 30s, to the 40s, 50s, 60s, you know, I think there was a few people even in their 70s, which was so cool. We've got the, you know, the big range and connections of so many generations. Anyway, I'm going to be doing the coming of age, moving through astrological midlife cycles, the ages of 35 to 45. And that's a really sort of potent point in our lives where we can really help either ourselves, if we're not at that age yet, reflect on that time in our lives to learn as a consultant about other people's progress through this period, as well as, you know, consulting with others to help them find what I want to call the gold during that time. So a lot of things going on between the ages of 35 and 45. So I look forward to seeing you. The CIA is offering our members and agents $100 off to this retreat for this first 24 hours. And if you sign up in the first 24 hours as well, you will get a month's membership with the CIA to actually access like quite a lot of videos, if you can do that in a month. So I look forward to meeting a lot of you there, seeing some of you again, and yeah, get on board. It's a fantastic event to be part of. Over to Tim. Is Tim there?
Thanks so much, Julia. Wow, it's so exciting to be back with this incredible group of souls and stars. I mean, I love each of you for how beautifully unique all of you are, and we each bring something really exciting and really different to this group. So I have to admit, what I most appreciated about the prior Astrology Rising was the personal interactions. And I know that might sound a little hokey, but I'm a bit of a storyteller. I love the feeling of sitting around a fire and, you know, just sharing personal stories and personal interactions. And I really love to hear other people share their stories as well. And so there are some amazing souls who attend these gatherings. And there are exchanges and memories that I hold very dear to my heart, as well as close connections that I've made in the last gathering that remain to be very good friends to this day. So what I'll be sharing in the next Astro Rising, first I'll be talking about the moon. I can't remember exactly the name of the title. The moon and you are all about the moon, something like this. And the moon is the most personally relatable part of our chart in many respects. It is our own emotional core. It's our own nurturance needs, what makes us feel safe, what makes us feel at home. And we'll also be tuning into how to track the moon, how to tune into the moon. Because did you know that the moon going 360 degrees around the zodiac every single month activates every single planet in our chart? And by tuning into the moon and by tracking the moon, we can therefore understand the dynamics in our chart, and we can actually evolve very, very quickly through tuning into our own emotional body, having personal experiences, and relating that back to our birth chart and astrology. So this moon presentation is very empowering, and we'll be learning tools that we can use right away in order to get a direct and experiential sense of what astrology is, which makes life very magical, very interesting and exciting. I'll also be presenting on shadow work, the art of personal empowerment through confronting really the deepest part of the human psyche, the unconscious field. And so we will discuss tips and techniques in how to approach the unconscious, how to listen to and how to speak the language of the unconscious. And this talk will include tips and techniques on how to avoid spiritual bypassing, projection, or denial, a very relevant topic for us all at this time, and in particular when we have the full moon in Scorpio, which will be ongoing during the gathering. And so we'll be tuning into our own shadow, so to be empowered by the potential of our own soul. And then finally, I'll be presenting on the poetic, mystical, enigmatic surrendering to the divine dance of life, that most inevitable and inconceivable realm of Neptune and Pisces. So it's going to be more of a colorful, poetic, artistic exploration of the essence of spirit, the imagination, life, and love. And also, we're going to be having some amazing musical gatherings. We'll be hosting a musical kirtan. I'm going to be bringing my harmonium. Sol and Ari Moshe are going to be sharing their musical talents. You're all invited to bring your instruments, your voices, your heart, your feet and your hands to dance and to share in this wonderful exchange of energy. And so I am so looking forward to connecting and sharing with those who can make it. And now I'm going to hand the baton on over to Rick Levine. Thanks for joining us, Rick. Earth to Rick, are you there? There we go.
Yeah, I'm talking away happily, realizing that I didn't unmute my mic. Okay. Well, it's totally wonderful to be here, and like many of you, I have attended just a pile of conferences over the years, and the Astrology Rising, the first Astrology Rising was, for me, one of the coolest events ever, just because one of my complaints with so many of the traditional astrology conferences is that we spend our time throat chakras and higher, and hats off to Kaypacha and everyone who helped bring us down into our bodies and out of our heads and into a more incarnate form. So I'm totally looking forward to this. It's very exciting to think about being back there. My opening talk is going to be on the future of astrology. I have given this topic a lot of thought over the past 45 or 50 years. And incidentally, when Jewel said something about over 70s, well, that's me. I've reached my 70th year. And although sometimes I still feel like I'm a teenager, I actually have the number 70 to carry around with me. So that'll be me. But the future of astrology, this is something we can spend a lot of time talking about outside of the lecture also. But the thing is that we moderners have no idea how fast things have changed. It's not just that we have computers now. It's not just that we have a different way of looking at the world. There's other changes going on that impact us, big changes. And one of them is the fact that the Saturnian wall that used to exist between the physical and the metaphysical realms has basically disintegrated. We live in a world where physics and metaphysics have kind of swirled together. And what does that mean for practicing astrology, where the imaginal world, where the non-physical dimensions may be as important as the physical dimensions, where it's not just about reincarnation, it's about the process of reincarnation and disincarnation. I've begun to call this, we live in what I call consciousness con carne. Consciousness does fine without a body, and as we move more into the metaphysical realms, the future of astrology will carry us there. On top of that, with social media and the internet, it's my sense that what we call GPS, global positioning systems, over the years ahead will also be augmented by TPS, temporal positioning systems. We know where we are, but we don't know when we are. And astrology combined with technology is going to lead us in totally new directions that we don't normally think about, but I do, and I will lead you through some of those thoughts. My next talk is going to be on the Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto conjunction, even though it's really a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction followed by a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. From a cosmic perspective, it really sweeps the whole thing together. I think it's significant that with these outer planet conjunctions or outer planet cycles, we look, like at a natal chart, we look and we see when the actual conjunction will occur. And usually there's an event in our lives that corresponds pretty closely to that. With social cycles, however, there's something that is like the lag of seasons. You know, we've just had the summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere, but that's not the hottest day of the year, because the lag of season says it takes time for material reality to catch up with the fact that the Earth had the most light on, or the least light on, one particular day. And by the same token, we had, like in the 1960s, the Uranus-Pluto conjunction that was exact during the 1965-66. But a lot of the big changes didn't occur until 67, 68, 69, 70, even 71. It wasn't until 72, 73 that it began to fade down. And by the same token, even though this conference is happening technically after the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in January of 2020, the fact of the matter is that it ain't over till it's over. And we are still in that process of cycling through this period, especially because we have the Jupiter swooping through the area. And we'll look at these longer wave cycles and try to understand what that means, especially coming up to the following year and the movement of the planets from Capricorn into Aquarius. The next lecture I'm going to be doing is more of a hands-on, a nuts and bolts lecture. It's working with Saturn and natal consultations. I like to think of that we all need someone to lean on, and in a consultation, Saturn says, lean on me. You see, Saturn brings with it some very straightforward, simple ways of looking at a chart. One of the things that I like doing is I like looking at Saturn through the eyes of Grant Louis, who used Saturn in the rising and falling over the 30-year cycle. It's a very fascinating way to get a macro look at what Grant Louis called the mainspring on the clock of life. And using Saturn really helps us get to a client, get to the nuts and bolts, to the meat of what's going on, the real stuff. And it also changes the way we look at the past, present, and future. Because let's say right now you have a client with the sun or moon, let's say in about 20 degrees of Capricorn, and we know that Saturn is coming round to that point. Well, we can look back at that person's life as to when Saturn was squaring that point and last opposed it, and squaring it before then, and 30 years ago or 29 years ago, conjuncting it. And we can create a history, and we'll do this in class, where we actually take our own charts and we look at the current Saturn transits, but we put it, instead of as an isolated event, we look at it as a cycle, as a time wave, because we begin to understand that we're not moving through time. Time is moving through us. And all these things that we see as disparate, separate events are really one event. Edna St. Vincent Millay, the poet, wrote, "Life is not one thing after another. It's the same damn thing over and over again." And we'll get to see that with working with the Saturn cycles. The last thing that I'll be doing in the evening, an experiential, is a pet topic of mine. And it has to do with the problem that a lot of astrology is, the same part of astrology that has to deal with the throat chakra and up, deals with ascending, wanting to reach into the cosmos, wanting to know our charts, wanting to know where our planets are up there. The chart is up there, out there, but ascension's only one half of the story. And it was the great Renaissance astrologer Marsilio Ficino who translated Plato from the Greek into the Latin, and perhaps single-handedly created what we call the Protestant Reformation. Marsilio Ficino taught that we embody the planets, and it's not just about ascending toward the heavens, it's also about creating practices that bring the heavens incarnate into us and into our lives. And as such, our experiential evening, called The Planets in Your Pocket, will explore how we all have all the planets all the time in our pockets. And with proper practice, if we need a little bit of Jupiter, we can reach into our pocket and pull out this optimism and confidence. But if we need some Saturn to hold us down and to cool our heels, we can do that too. And so the question becomes, which planets in our pocket do we need? And knowing that, how do we conjure up that energy? And we will explore some of that. So I'm totally looking forward to this conference. If you can't tell, I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed about it. I'm looking forward to it. I fell in love with Costa Rica. Last time when I was there, I was still writing a daily column, and so I was kind of tied to every day have 3 or 4 hours away from the group. This year, I've shed my daily horoscope writing. I feel like I'll be much more integrated with the group. I'm excited about it. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the Godfather himself, the Panther Man who protects us in the middle realms. Take it away, boss man, Kaypacha.
Rick, you are the quotable quote of quotes. What was that? What was that? Life doesn't keep happening. It's the same shit all over again.
Edna St. Vincent Millay, American poet. Life is not one thing after another. I wish this was my line. It's not. Yes. Life is not one thing after another. It's the same damn thing over and over again. And anyone who's mapped out their Saturn cycles knows that the same shit keeps happening until we get it right. Anyhow, take it away, Kaypacha. I'm so happy to be involved with this group. It's way cool. Coolest group of astrologers on the planet.
Can't wait to see you again, Rick, man. This is going to be great. So, wow, you guys, this is just like bringing up all kinds of memories and feelings and emotions, and what a fantastic time. I want to just share a couple of things with you because let me share my screen. It's just so great that, what you can do is you can go to the website of astrologyrisingcostarica.com and you can see all these pictures from last time yourself. But there were a couple that I wanted to focus on because what? Because we are not only going to be doing astrology and everything else, but that is Timothy Halloran on his, I forget, there is Ari playing the guitar Okay, so the harmonium, we're going to have kirtan. We are going to have, I'm bringing my guitar. Ari's going to have his guitar. We're going to be doing chanting, meditations, music. I just wanted to share some of these pictures with some astro drama. There's some more drumming going on there. That's our old faculty, the beach. I mean, this is the, the gathering room, and last time, I think we're going to have more people this time, but, we're going to fit. We're going to fit. It's just going to be so freaking awesome. Anyway, I wanted to share some of these pictures with you, and check those out on the website. There's over 100 pictures from last time. Give you a little bit of an idea about what the heck is going on. Now, for you today, who have listened, and are all excited, we want to make something special happen for you. And what we've got is, we're doing it a little differently this time. Basically, we've only got room for 200 people. So what we're doing this time is we're selling 50 tickets at the early bird price. And when those are gone, 50 more tickets, a couple $100 higher, 50 more tickets, a little higher, and then the full price. Yeah. And like I say, I just want to explain that your ticket price includes astrology, yoga, ceremonies, performances, fires on the beach, music. We're going to have a dance party on the last night. We're doing a qigong. We're doing kirtan. I can't say everything, but the schedule online, you can check out the schedule online also, has everything that we're doing. And then the Margaritaville Hotel is giving us all the food we can eat, all the drinks we can drink, snacks, beverages, desserts, everything is going on, discounts here, there, and everywhere. And the ticket price also includes your round trip shuttle to and from the airport. You have to fly into Liberia, though. It's too far to San Jose, yeah? So what we're doing is, if you decide and you follow your gut and you follow your intuition and you step on it and you get this, you can save $200 if you get your ticket today. Not only that, but I'm giving away for the first time ever my webinar series of Astrology 201. It's 8 2-hour videos on how to interpret your natal chart. I'm giving that away today if you sign up. Rick is giving away a free entry to his web chart interpretation webinar. Maurice is giving away $100 credit on any workshop of your choice by Maurice. Timothy is giving away his Zodiac Polarity workshop. Jules is giving away a month membership in the CIA. Ari is giving away a beginner's guide to evolutionary astrology and reversed sign house nodal positions. Christina is giving away her Asteroid Goddess Mandala webinar, and Sol's giving away Chiron and Aries. Cut it out. Oh, and I forgot to say, I'm very sorry, Patricia Walsh is also going to be on the faculty. She is not able to be with us here today on the webinar, but she is going to be sharing, all of her work. Also, check her out on the website. So anyway, we've got the regular ticket price. We've got today's ticket price, and then, you take off 200 even off of that. So it's like, if you get your tickets today, you save $200 on the ticket, then you get $455 worth of all that astrology stuff. This is like, if you want to learn astrology, if you are interested, if you are into astrology, if you got, what can I say? I can't imagine a better thing happening in the world of astrology today than this. So Daniela, can you put the link to the if they want to sign up today, put that link in the chat box, and you can and you can just sign up today. And I think I already mentioned the sailing before, but there's also going to be on the last day, kind of like the grand finale, we're all going sailing. I mean, it is optional. I think it's an extra $90, but you know, I had to make it. Yeah, that's just, we're not making anything on that. That's just what the guy wants. So anyway, I want to thank you for listening. Maybe everybody can come on board. Let me put my screen here on gallery view. We can all come on, turn on your videos, everybody. I see Soul, Kristinas, Daniela, Maurice, come on there. Hey, all right, everybody. I want to thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you in Costa Rica on Cinco de Mayo 2020 to celebrate life, love, astrology, and planet Earth. Namaste.
Aloha.
So much
Love.
We never get that right. It's always out of sync.
We've been doing it for what, 4 years?
Super duper, baby. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.